Hi. So we have a question from the group that I'm going to try to walk through the answer on because it's a little bit complicated. So the question from the group is that there is an email domain that the client or that you would like to send from your system, but it's not a domain that's listed in the system. So it's just a support email address. And they want to be able to have that one email address receive emails and send back from the system, but want to know, do they need to connect the domain? And that is actually a little complicated. There's two pieces to this. One, back in February, Google and Yahoo and a lot of the other big email inbox providers, they decided to start really clamping down on making sure that emails being sent out by the different tools. So the MailChimps, the Constant Contacts, the sales process, the other tools that you would send an email from needs to have very specific codes and settings on the back end. So that's why when we're setting up sales process and we connect your domain, that we have some very specific things that we need access to. So it is absolutely best and the best practice for emails to have any domain that you want to send an email out from be connected to the backend of the sales process account, because you want to make sure that you are telling Gmail and Yahoo and these other ones where they're coming from. And we'll get back to this in just a minute. Hi. Yep.
Hi, there are very few of us tonight here.
Yep, just a few. How can I help you? Do you have a question that I can help you with?
Actually, I attend this, I'm new. I
Sure.
attend this just to listen in, look over the shoulders of others when they do it, when they explain. It's my way of getting immersion training, just
Absolutely.
hearing people talk about it in different ways. I learned most when Tamara explained and the processes. But I find that I learn more when somebody else has come on and they ask a question because they have a problem with this particular area. And when Tamara and the rest of the trainers solve the problem in front of us. So we're looking over the shoulders, we see how they think, we see how they apply their the simplest thing that is that befuddles us is can be something very obvious, but we just don't see it. We
Yeah,
just don't see the solution until someone points out to us and say, "Hey, it's at the top left corner, top right corner, somewhere. Click this, and then voila, you have." Yeah, that's what I find. I find very useful to just drop in and just listen in and look over
absolutely.
your face.
Absolutely. My name is Tanya.
Anya,
I am filling in for tomorrow while she is on vacation for a little bit. So I'll be with you for a few weeks. So I am happy to help with any of that. Before you joined, I was answering a question that we received in an email. So I'm happy to kind of start that over and show you about how to and why you would connect all of your domains that you want to send emails from. That work okay for you?
yes, if you could help me by doing this,
Hmm.
help me by talking as you move your mouth so that I know how you're thinking.
Okay,
Not just the doing, but the thinking behind the doing.
sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna to start over. So for our videographers, we had a question come in, which the very basic level of it is, if you're going to be sending emails out from the system, do you can need to connect all of the domains? So the at um, domain.com, do you need to include that domain in the back end of the email connection for all of your emails that you want to send an email out from? So that's the very basic of it. And for the more complicated version of this is a user would like to have just one email address with one very specific domain connected to a support email. So when someone emails them with a support question, they would like to be able to respond from that email address and domain that is different from their main domain email address. So the question is, should they connect their domain or can they leave it as it is or send from a different domain? And that answer is tiny bit complicated in the fact that back in February, Google and Yahoo, they started it, but they actually started a chain of events with all of the major email inbox providers. And they said, Google and Yahoo said that these laws that are passed around the world need to, we need to start really enforcing them, which means that when a business is sending an email to someone else, and especially when they're sending into a Gmail account or a Yahoo account specifically, but it now goes across all email inbox providers, you need to have the very specific DNS settings or codes on connected to your domain so that emails are actually received properly. And these codes, if you think about banking or you think about, so here in the States, we have, of course, our debit cards, but we also, a lot of people are still using checks. And the easy way to think about this is these codes are basically sort of like having the debit card or the credit card. It means that this has my name on it, this card has my account number on it, and my handing it over, my tapping to pay says that yes, I am this person, I'm allowed to pay for this item. So if I'm going to dinner, so that's one code is what one of the codes does. The second code actually says I have the PIN number. I have this very secret code. Have this very secret access. So if I handed the card to my husband, he could still use it with code number 1. With code number 2, he may not know my PIN number, my access code, or on a check, the actual signature. It would not be mine. So that's what the second code is. So having these codes on the back end connecting to your domain is the most important part of sending emails out from the system. So when your account gets set up and for being able to send emails out, we make sure that those codes are added to your very specific domain. So that's why it would need to be on wherever you bought your domain, it needs to have those codes on it. So that's why it is always best to have the domain connected in the email services area from whatever email address and email domain you're sending from, because you want to tell Gmail and Yahoo and the other email inbox providers and the spam providers or the spam guardians, basically, that your email is connected correctly and you really are allowed to send from them. So that is the absolute best practice for every email account, is to make sure that you do have all of your email domains connected to the system. So you can do that. And I tend to look up when I do explanations because I have a screen above me and it's a lot bigger than the one that I'm looking at here. So bear with me, I do look up when I'm doing demonstrations. But if I pull up an account, now this is Tamara's demonstration account, so I'm not entirely sure what all is back here. But to connect your domain, you're going to go back here to the settings area, and then you're going to go to email services. And you can actually see she does have a domain set up, and it's replies.testtamara.com. So she does have a very specific connection set up, and you can add more domains right here in this area. So if you had a new domain, you would go to this blue add domain area, and then you would start telling it what that domain is.
I'm
So,
not seeing any
uh,
screen.
oh, I'm not sharing my screen. That would be my bad. I'm sorry. It's very early here. I am still sleeping. It's been kind of a crazy week. Let me do that again. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to start from the dashboard because it's always best to start from one place that everybody recognizes. All right, so sharing the screen. So I'm going to go down to settings, and then I'm going to click on email services. So you can see the domain that is connected here, and you can have that, you can see that if this is yours, or you can see if it is the one that is connected to the sales process system. Now, can you send emails from the sales process system? You can, but I would consider it temporary, and I would really truly suggest using your own domains and connecting your own domains. It is the better way to do things for your business and for your processes to make sure that it is reaching the people that you want it to reach, especially when it's a support email address, as in this particular situation. You want to make sure that it's best to have your own domain connected. So you can see which ones are connected right here with this dedicated domain and IP. So I'm going to click on that, and we can see if there's one or if there's multiple. You can add a domain by clicking on the blue domain button, and then you would enter the domain name here. Now, I typically use what's called a subdomain for sending emails. And what the subdomains do, so you can see right here, this one says lc.mydomain.com. So the subdomain is the very little bit, even www, that thing that we've had most of our lives to talk about websites, that's actually a subdomain. So you can have anything at the very beginning, just before that first period, and it's considered a secondary address, basically. So it's considered a subdomain. So you can have mail, you can have replies, you can even have support, you can have a number of different things at the very front of that. Just like we've probably seen as we're designing websites, or we're going and looking at other people's websites, after the .com or the .eu or au or .org, there's a slash, then there's additional stuff. It could be blog or services or whatever. Those are pages. So there's a lot of different functionalities that you can do within the domain address. But for the email, it's really good to have it set up with some sort of a subdomain, and you can have multiple of them. So I would typically put in the support, if that's what the client would want, or maybe they want replies, and then in this particular example, it would be, sorry, I lost my place, QE-360.com. And then you would go through the process of adding and verifying. Now, I'm not going to connect this because this isn't my account, but once this happens, then depending on the other pieces, so where the domain was purchased, if they are using Cloudflare, which is a very good idea to use Cloudflare kind of as a directional piece, it gives security and speed, then you can add and verify the codes either automatically or manually through this process. So you can make sure that you get everything connected. Once you're connected, you want to start sending emails from it, and you should be good to go because you make sure that you're sending from the proper place. Because there's this new thing now, and I don't know if anyone has seen this, but if you go into your marketing area and you go into email campaigns, and I'm going to let the system load for a second. Hopefully she has an email or two back here. If not, I can create one. It's not a problem. Sorry for the speed. If anyone has any questions that they would like me to answer once I get done with this one, if you want to either add it to the chat or just kind of know what that question is, I am happy to get to the next question just as soon as I finish this one. As I'm waiting for this to load, my face probably looks different. My name is Tanya. I work with Tamara on some other things. I am also very knowledgeable in the system. So she is taking some vacation time at the moment. So I am filling in for her so that I can make sure that you are all still receiving the support that you need and can have things taken care of the way you need them. So I'm going to see if I can refresh that screen, see if that helps. Okay. It's not wanting to open for me. So let me stop my share for just a second because I have a workaround for just 1 second. Let's see if I can get into it in another way. I can. Okay, so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. So I'm in marketing, I'm in emails, and I'm in a campaign, and then I'm actually looking at an actual message. Once you design these emails, if you go over here to your blue send or schedule button, there's a new thing happening now that you can check your you can add your sender address. So there may be, and there's some new things that are happening. So you may be able to set a custom reply to address, which you can have in the background. That's absolutely perfect. But to send that email out, you want to make sure that you're sending it out from a domain that's connected, because again, it's the rules on the email inbox providers. That's that key point. It's not just how necessarily we want to do business or how we want the system to be. It is absolutely about how Gmail, Yahoo, and the other inbox providers want to receive emails. Because I know the people, the main accounts that I've heard that are having issues receiving emails, Gmail is one of the bigger ones, but Microsoft and their emails, so whether it was at Outlook, Outlive, or any of the email addresses that they control, had quite a bit of a time a couple of months ago that they weren't receiving any emails because of this new system. So if I enter an email address in here and I go mail.smart virtual, and if you happen to notice, this actually has this error message that says this seems to be an unverified address. So the system is actually going to point you into a way to say, please verify this now. Something's not right with this email address. So then you would definitely want to connect that domain that you in your email services. It's just overall for the system, for Gmail, Yahoo, because that's where honestly, Gmail actually has about 80% of the market share of email addresses. So, and people tend to use a lot of their Gmail addresses sometimes as throwaway accounts, or there's a lot of people that have the workspace accounts that's still owned by Gmail. They're still the controlling option, but we don't know that it is actually a Gmail inbox. So there's a lot of reasons why doing it this proper way is the best way. So I hope that answers that question. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. All right. Is there any other questions that I can help with today?
If there's no more, can I ask you to help me? I'm a newbie.
Sure.
Meaning I'm really new, and I've
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking over the shoulders of others as they talk. But I struggle with understanding the big picture.
Okay.
I once asked uh, Tanya, Tamara, what to do if I want to get started, and she says that, well, I should put in I should go to products, put in my product that the product that I'm selling, and work from there, which got me into the flow. I got to get the pictures, the images. I got to build all this back thing up. I'm asking, is there a clear, straightforward guidebook for the newbie? Some documentation, because I um, I work best when I have a book in front of me and I just go through the pages and take and it's sort of take references from it,
Mhm.
if you know what I mean.
So, what is your business? You said you enter your products and you're selling something. What is your business?
Well, I have two. I have a very high ticket item for a product that is really expensive, $100,000, $200,000 physical machine. That's
Okay.
one item. The other item is a cheaper, still expensive for a herbal TCM, Chinese traditional medicine hair product,
Okay.
costing about $65 Singapore dollars per item. So
Okay.
does that qualify as low value or mid value? It's not high value. So,
So, value and price, two different things. So value is what someone thinks of it. So if that hair care item, for example, I know someone that she's about 10 years older than I am, and she is currently dealing with hair loss. So if your product helps her with the hair loss issue, then the value is amazing. The cost is just what that 65 number is. So that's kind of two different things. Um, but there's also the piece of um, what do you want to market first? What's the one, at least for right now, what is the and as you're saying, you would like a book, and sales process might have that book. Andrew might have that information and might be able to help you with that and have a better answer for that than I do. But because I'm helping with the technical pieces. Um, but the question would be, what do you want the system to do for you first? What is that piece that you want it to do? Because quite honestly, I've tried to help people with guides and checklists and things like that. And it really depends on your own business because what someone who repairs roofs does is different than what you do. Even your high ticket item is very different from um, your lower ticket item. So that ticket just being the overall cost or of your overall price. So it really just kind of depends on what you want the system to do for you. What is your wish list?
okay, okay. So this is where I run into trouble because I'm new.
Hmm.
I'm doing business for the first time. So I am unclear in my roadmap. I have a sense of where I'm going, but I don't have the details of all these bits and pieces
Okay.
in my mind. So I am, yes, so I'm really in need of a manual, a guide, a template, something that can just get me going first, and then I will modify from there, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Maybe I can take over this one, Tanya. Hey, Sui, nice to meet you here. So what I'm hearing is that you're looking to do a high ticket funnel, right? Because you're selling high ticket. And in fact, we actually recently completed our implementation with high ticket and we shared a bunch of cool templates in your account. So you should already have these templates in your account, including the high ticket funnel, the email sequences, automations. So you want to be setting those things up in sales process. Okay. We already have plenty of existing tutorials, and I'm gonna be sending you a link where we've uploaded our previous trainings, our office hours where we covered high ticket funnel, right? So you can go on the link and just search high ticket, and you'll be able to find a bunch of tutorials in there. And this is where you need to start implementing, start building your funnel up. Okay. And these calls, so just a quick announcement to everyone on this call as well. Starting this week, in fact, we're actually trying out a new format on office hours where all of you will be joining it. And instead of focusing on a specific topic, we want to be able to help everyone get moving, right? So this is where you guys will join. And if you guys are facing any challenges when it comes to tech, so let's say, let's take an example, Suli, right? Once you start trying to build up your funnel, and if you're stuck with anything, oh, you're not sure how to get this part right, or you're not sure how to set up your mail, just like Tanya just walked through, right? This is where you just jump on this course and get us to help. But in terms of tutorials, resources, solely, we have a bunch of those already. So in fact, one of it is through the link I've just sent you. So just feel free to click that, look for tutorials that you're interested in, and start building your things up. And also, for those of you who do not know, as you're building these things up, right? And if you have any questions, of course, we will love to have you on our office hours calls that take place Monday to Friday. But if it's not time yet for office hours, we also have a 24/7 live chat, right? So we want to make sure everyone's covered. And yeah, I hope that answers your question, Suli. But does that answer your question?
Thank you for all the offer. I'm trying to open your link that you sent me. This is a spotlight thing, yes?
Yes, that's right. Right? Yeah. So we want to keep this. Yeah, go ahead, Suli. You were about. So anyways, while we wait for Suli to come back to us. So anyways, we want to keep these calls, office hours calls, to be like tech related. So if you need anything, like you're not sure how to do this, if you're not sure how to build a specific automation, right? This is where Tanya is here to help you. And Tamara is still available on Tuesdays, right? Although she's on vacation, she's happy to support you guys and she's available still every Tuesday. This is where if you guys need any help building these things up, right? Tamara, Tanya is here for you guys, okay? But in the meantime, we want you to get started personally, start building up your funnel, start building up your email sequences, automations. These templates are already in your account. Just make sure to start putting in the copy, start designing the funnel and all those things, okay?
Yeah, okay. I will try to get going. My first time, so my first entry into the system.
No worries. Everyone starts somewhere. Don't worry about it. And this is why we have these calls as well every single day, right? So once you start doing it and once you start building it, when you have questions, we're here to help you out. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions? Tanya is really excited to help everyone, but let's keep it tech related, because that's where her strong suit is. Anyone else need any help?
Actually, may I ask, is there something more than videos? What I like is, can you put together some kind of a big picture overview in a PDF format or some documents I can print out so I can have in front of me? I have difficulty following the videos and because there's too much things going on, too much, and I'm new and I'm struggling to understand many things.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Sully, this is more strategy related. So we want to be able to help you with that, but of course, we want to keep this call to just tech stuff. So if you need any specific like tech stuff assistance, this is where we're gonna help you. But to give you a summary of what you need help with, this is where you've been joining Peng Jun's trainings, right? I'll be sending over some resources that I think could help you. But it goes back to what Tanya just mentioned, right? What are you looking to build in sales process? Are you looking to build a high ticket funnel? Are you looking to build a webinar funnel? Are you looking to build a low ticket item funnel, right? So this is where you will first need to know what you want to be able to do. And that's where we can send you the relevant resources, okay? Because if we were to just send you one PDF of all the information in sales process, you'll be overwhelmed, right? So let us know what you need help with, write it to us and tell us what you need help with, and we can send you the specific resources on that. Will that help? Okay, yeah. Suli, I saw your messages on the site. I'll get the team to send you some resources specifically on high ticket funnels tomorrow, or after this call. Okay. But let's keep the floor open for tech related stuff first. Okay, but just feel free to unmute anyone if you guys need any tech assistance. All right.
So if no one else on the call has any questions, I do have another one that was sent in, and it's similar to what we were just talking about, which is how to set up your email so that it is going out properly. So we just went over part of that, and I can kind of show you on some other pieces. Let's see. Let me go back to sharing my screen. All right, so very clearly, how do we set up emails so that they go out from the system? Because it's really important. We want to make sure that our emails are reaching the inboxes of the people that we're selling to, that we're talking to, that we're supporting, that are buying our courses, our products. We want to make sure that we're talking to them and that everything is reaching. Now, I will absolutely say, just because we set up all of the codes and the DNS properly and do everything the system says, is not a 100% guarantee that emails are going to go out, because there's other things that happen with the email inbox providers. There's certain words that they don't like. There's other reasons why an email may not come through. So there is a possibility that your email may still end up in spam. But we are doing everything we absolutely can to make sure that you have the best possibility of your email reaching that inbox. So again, I always try to start from the dashboard or from something in the system that looks that you're familiar with. So I always try to start from start. And so you should be seeing the demo account dashboard. So again, I'm going to go down to settings at the very bottom of the screen, and I'm going to click on email services. So you will automatically have, when you get your sales process account, you will automatically have something listed here, and it will be connected to sales process. Will emails still deliver if you stick with this domain? They will, but they are not the best practice. It is possible that these emails are going to get delivered, but they are going to show up as kind of an incorrect domain. It is absolutely best practice to have your own domain connected on the back end. Do you have to? No, but really it's best for you and your business to have these sent out from your own domain. So to add that domain, you can do this in two buttons. It's either this one or this one. They both work. You can go direct to add a service with this blue add service button, or you can click on this dedicated domain and IP button to make sure that you are seeing any other domains that might be connected in the background. So we're going to click on that. Now, in this demo account that Tamara has, this is actually her test account domain, and that's great. She's got it set up the way that she needs it to be. So here's some things that are good that's great for her. So she does have it as a subdomain, which we talked about a few minutes ago, which is this replies. The subdomain is sort of like the www. It works best when you're sending from emails that have a subdomain through the system, because what happens is if you are maybe using your Gmail or your Outlook or a different email tool, and maybe you've been using it for a while as your main place. So for example, let's say that it's you've been sending emails for yourself or your business from testtamara.com for a while now. So the technology piece says it's best to have a subdomain, because you want to make sure that you're telling the technology that replies.testtamara.com come into the system. So you want to make sure that it has that, it's kind of like that closed loop. So you're not confusing all of the servers out there in the world. So you can still have your main email address with all of those main emails, and anything coming out of the system do connect to the system as well. Now, can you connect your Gmail and your Outlook accounts to the system and have all of your emails come through? Absolutely. Me personally, and this is my own personal opinion, I don't like doing that because I don't want to dirty up and muddy up my CRM, my contact list in my CRM, with the random emails that I get from people trying to sell me things, or from all of the newsletters that I get from various places. So my CRM, I try to keep it as clean as possible, and I'm very stringent about what goes in and what stays there. So you may have a different opinion on that, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to kind of show you what mine is at the very base level of clean CRM to make sure that you have emails going out of the system. So when you're ready to add a domain, we did this a few minutes ago, and that's perfectly fine. So we're going to click on that blue add domain button, and we're going to tell it what our subdomain and our main domain is. So if I did something like test dot, and I'm going to use something that I know that I have access to. So I am going to do smartvirtualsolution.com because that's actually a company that I have a connection to, and I know I can do something with this on the back end to really show you how this works. Okay, so I have the word test as my subdomain. I have Smart Virtual Solution as my main domain, and then it's of course .com. And of course that can be anything that you need it to be. So now I'm going to click on the add and verify. Now this can work in a couple of different ways, and this really does depend on where you purchased your domain and what you've done with it afterwards. So for example, if you have a WordPress website or even a Wix website or some other website builder other than sales process, then this could be a little bit more complicated because that's where your DNS records are sitting. So there's a couple of different steps there. If, like Suli, you are a new business and you are going to be developing your business completely on sales process, then you probably are going to use the place where you purchased your DNS record or you purchased your domain. Or the other key factor is to have it connect your domain to Cloudflare because they provide security and speed, and then it makes it really simple. So I have this domain, the Smart Virtual Solution, I have it connected to Cloudflare. I'm not currently connected into my Cloudflare account, but that's okay. I can hit continue, but I want you to kind of see these records. So if I click on add record manually, you can see that there's actually 5 records here, and it's actually leaving one out. There is a 6th record that you would add into the background of the system. So there are 2 TXT records, and so you would basically go into the back end of your domains and you would connect these. There is a CNAME record, and there's 2 MX records. MX records connect to mail, so it's how your mail service works. Now this is very complicated and goes into a lot of different stuff, but if you do use Cloudflare or some of the other providers, if you hit continue, the system will do this for you. Now Cloudflare is a free account, and again, it provides speed and security. So you can actually see it. It went and looked at my stuff. It says that this domain is connected on Cloudflare. It can even tell me what is going to be added, which is all of that gobbledygook we looked at in the previous screen. And now I'm going to authorize this domain. So now my Cloudflare dashboard is loading. It's going to let me log in. So it's going to have me verify myself, and I'm going to log in. I have an app on the back end. So because I don't want to be completely connected to Tamara's account, I'm not going to go through the entire process. But once you log in completely and you say, yes, this is what I want to add, then it's done for you. All those codes are done. Everything is set up for you. So I'm going to stop where we're at. So they're not actually added. And I'm going to close out of this screen. And I'm going to go back to this Cloudflare place. Now it's going to say, these are the things that should have been added. And these are not verified because I didn't add them. But when you do this, it should. Now, I will absolutely admit, it takes some time, and there's when it comes to doing anything with these codes, these DNS codes, there is some time that it takes. It's basically taking information from this one point where you're at, and it's sending information all around the world to all of the important servers. And then sometimes it goes to all of the servers really all around the world. So this can take a little bit of time. Most of the time, this verification takes about 30 seconds. So if it doesn't verify correctly, so see where it says verify domain here at the bottom, you want to make sure when you leave this screen, these are all green and say verified. Now mine will not because I didn't connect these codes to my system. But when you connect it, you can hit the verify domain and you can see what they look like. Now, one of these other pieces, as I mentioned, 5 codes versus 6 codes. There is a 6th code. You can see it here at the bottom, and it's this TXT record, and it's called a DMARC. So this is the 3rd code that the email inbox providers would like you to have. And it's a very simple code, and it's basically saying, okay, DMARC and it's P equals something. Now there's 3 different codes that you can have in here. You can have it say none, which Google recommends. Google's happy with that, and they are the industry standard. You can say P equals reject and P equals quarantine. This entire code is basically telling that inbox provider. So we'll just talk Google specifically. If you're sending to someone with a Gmail account or with an account that is owned by Google in some way, then we're telling Google what to do if your email going into them looks a little weird, looks not quite right. And this is basically saying when you have it say P equals none, you're giving them the inbox provider the choice of what to do. And I personally think that Google is a lot smarter than I am. I set all of my DMARCs up to none because they know more about what goes into the inbox than I do. So I don't want them, I want them to have that control. And this is their industry standard. They say this is perfectly fine. The next level up is P equals quarantine. The quarantine level says that if my email going into their box looks a little wrong, looks not quite right, then what happens with that? So the quarantine says automatically send my emails to spam so that my recipients have to go look at their spam folder and make sure things are going right. I don't like that. I would rather have Google have control. The third option is P equals reject, which means that email gets bounced out of their email inbox and it never reaches my person. So there's not even the potential of it going into the spam box. It just says, hey, Google, if this looks weird, just reject it. Don't deliver it in any way, shape, or form. So I really don't like that because I don't want to have that possibility. You can set these up to the best of what works for you and your business, your country, where you're at, because different country standards may be different. But overall, Google says that none is just fine. So that's where that comes into play. Now, I am going to click verify domain. And so you'll see the spinning wheel and you'll see that it still says not verified. We know it's not verified because I didn't actually add the codes. But if I go back to dedicated domains, and I'm going to take and hit the 3 dots on this, and I'm going to delete this domain. Oops, helps if I could type. I'm going to delete it. So this one is still here. Now I can click on these 3 dots and I can verify her domain. Now she may not have checked everything, but there should be, and this is how she added it as well, there should be the verified symbols on here. So I'm going to go back. Hopefully I didn't screw anything up for her. And because I'm not connected to her, there might be an issue, but that would be how you can go through and check those and should say connected. So I will get with her to make sure I didn't screw anything up for her. The other piece of this, one more piece of setting on connecting these, is if you see these 3 dots right here, there's an information here that says set headers. The sales process system and the inbox providers would like you to have your headers set. So this means what your overall from name and your mainly used from email is. So for example, it would probably be, okay, so you can have your from name be anything. It's whatever shows up from who it's coming from. And then it would be the main email that you're sending from. Now, for me, I would probably put Tamara at, replies.test.tamara.com. Now, again, I'm not going to hit save because I don't want to screw up Tomorrow's account any more than I already have. But you want to make sure that the emails are coming out from that subdomain. You want to make sure that that's what the system is seeing as where those emails are coming from, so that you are in compliance with those the email setup process. So I hope that makes sense. It is kind of a little bit complicated, but quite honestly, it's working with the email inbox providers. Are there any new questions or anything else that I can show off? Okay. So have had a new question as well about sending text messages through the system. Now, I fully admit I am in the US and I am not completely familiar with what is needed all around the world for SMS. I believe that there are a number of different service providers that are needed for all of that. There are restrictions in the United States and Canada, most specifically sending into the United States for sending text messages. You do need to go through what's called an A2P 10 DLC compliance. So A2P is basically last summer, the major cellular carriers got together and said, people are no longer sending spam and marketing messages through email quite so much. They're now using text. And we want to try to control this, to make sure that people aren't just spamming others. So the major carriers, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, here in the United States, got together and created their own regulatory compliance company and said, all right, or organization, and said, we want businesses that are going to, or organizations that are sending into United States phone numbers or sending with United States phone numbers to be registered. So it's very similar to the email compliance that Google and Yahoo did this year. I think they got the idea from the cellular carriers from last year. So there is a registration process that A2P goes through that says we need to tell them exactly who we are. We need to register our brand or our business through them, our organization, and then we need to tell them what we're sending out to people, what we're trying to convey in the information. And they're not saying we can't do it, they just want to know what it's going to be. Then there needs to be some systems on the back end that make sure that there's automations on the system to say, if someone replies the word stop, for example, then when they reply with that, they are unsubscribed and marked as do not disturb for text messages. They're no longer getting those messages. People need a way to opt out. A2P is mostly is America and Canada based. I do believe it's more about sending into United States phone numbers. It is absolutely about sending from United States phone numbers. Now, if you are, I know I've talked to people that they are in Canada, and if they are sending to their clients in the United States, they know that they have to get the A2P. So it's very possible that you do as well. So sometimes with this, if you don't want to do text messaging, you may want to look, and you don't want to go through the A2P compliance process, then you may want to look at doing something else, like a WhatsApp if someone has that, Facebook Messenger, Meta Messenger, things like that as another option. But as of right now, and things are always changing, the A2P compliance is American based at the moment, as far as I know. Does anyone have any questions that I can help with? So one of the things that Suli talked about was being a new business. So when I'm talking to people that are new, brand new to the system, they're just now entering it. I'm going to kind of show you some things that I want to make sure that I have set up on the system as a business user to make sure that I know that I'm walking through the right things. So I am going to, and I know I'm not sharing yet, I am going to start from the dashboard. Now, I can see this launch pad, and it's a good, decent place to start that kind of gives you a tiny bit of a checklist. Okay, you want to make sure that you have, if you have a Google business account, have that connected. what this connects with, and I know specifically for the United States, and this may work in other countries, and I'm sorry that I don't know it quite as well for other countries, but Google Business is an amazing tool for businesses, especially brick and mortar, but definitely virtual businesses as well, to have your business listed so that people can find you when they do a Google search or when they're in an area and they're trying to show something off. If you are using Facebook or any of the Meta applications, most likely WhatsApp and whatnot will go through here as well. Your web chat widget, things like that. But all of these are basically like a beginner checklist just to kind of get you started. They're not the end all be all. Where you really want to get going is in your settings in the background. So I always have people start with the business profile. And this is the very first screen that you see in settings. And if you're going to be doing anything, especially with, if you do need that A2P 10 DLC text messaging compliance, then you want to make sure you have as much of this filled out as possible, because the system takes this information and puts it into the registration. But if you're not doing A2P, it's okay. You can go without this information. It's not a problem. But you can add your business logo. You can have a friendly business name versus a legal business name. So if you have an LLC or an S Corp or something else, you can have your legal business name listed here. You can have your business email. Now, she has done this correctly. She has the outgoing business email set with the same the subdomain as she has connected to the system. And this is very important because when you are sending emails from the system and she is logged into the account, then this is really perfect for having emails go out from the account on her behalf. Okay, we would have a branded domain connected. So this branded domain is if you are doing your calendar links, your scheduling links, if you're sending invoices out, if you're sending your receipts out, this is where the branded domain comes into play. So if you don't set up a branded domain, your calendar link would have the sales process domain connected to it, which doesn't look quite so professional from your end. It still works. Everything is still connected, but it would look better if it had your name connected to it. So you can add that domain here in this area. You would have your business website, your business niche, your information about who you are up here in this area, your authorized representative. And so you can kind of look at some of these settings. There's some other settings in here to take a look at that things can get as you're building your business, you're adding new contacts, you're bringing more people in, is do you want to have duplicate contacts possible? So say, for example, I come to your site, I add myself to your form, I sign up, then a couple of months later, I kind of forgot that I did it. You've got a new offer. I sign up for that. Do you want me to sit in one card, or do you want me to be able to have multiple cards? Some people are a little bit different. I will say that every single time someone signs up for a new form for you, for some reason, every new form is going to get a new contact if you allow a duplicate contact. You can also change how that duplicate contact is looked at. So for example, most of the people that I work with, the information we collect is email based first, then phone. So you would then change this email first, phone second. So if you wanted to turn on to allow duplicate contacts, then it would look at these particular things. Depends on what your business is, depends on how you want this to run, and it depends on how clean you want to keep your customer database as to how that goes through. The enable disable, this one is really unimportant at this point. If you do have the ability to do missed call text back, if you're not in the States or Canada having to deal with the A2P registration, you can have the missed call text back. But if you don't have a phone number through a service connected to your system, this one is not important either. The next piece to take a look at is your profile, or the My Profile section. We've got about 4 minutes left. So please, if you have a question, let me know now before I keep going for our last 4 minutes on this.
May I ask, can you go back to the branded
Yeah.
domain and
Uh-huh.
the website domain? What's the difference?
The branded domain is another one of those subdomains like we dealt with in the emails. So this one is, I would set up a subdomain specifically for branded domain that might say sales dot whatever your domain is .com, or it might be SP for a sales process, so that you know that this domain is set up specifically to run the back end of the sales process system. The business website, this is where you want people to go. This is what you're advertising. This is your main domain that you're saying, please go visit this. So the branded domain is, again, another one of those subdomains that you would set up. And so if I entered here, so if I did sales.testtomorrow.com, then I could click this add domain button. And I'm not going to click this because I don't want to go through all the rigmarole again of doing something to screw up her account. But you would add the domain and it would go through the same process of connecting to your wherever you have your domain. If it's a system that the sales process can't access on the back end, then it would provide you with the codes to add to your DNS records. And so that you would have so say you have a scheduling link, for example, you can have it say, for her account, test tomorrow, so that people know it really is hers, or it can say the sales process domain that is automatically connected. Professionalized way, professionalism, you want to have it say your domain name so that people recognize it. So that's the difference. Does that help? Did I answer that question?
So I have to create this branded domain. My first time hearing this word branded domain,
Sure.
I'm wrapping my head around it. So I have a domain name, a maindomain.com.
Okay.
Then I need to create a branded domain. It's a subdomain prefix.
So
And
let me show you.
point is to confine sales process to this subdomain, to this branded domain. What's the point of having this branded domain? I
So,
don't.
okay, so this is my calendar link. Okay, so I am in a system very similar to sales process, and I have my calendar link connected. And if you can see right here, it has my smartvirtualsolution.com branded domain widget. If you don't have a branded domain connected, then this would probably say sales process on the back end. So let me see if she happens to have any calendars. She does. So if I take a look at this one, let me share, copy the link, grab this. And that's okay. But what this says here, so we know that she has her main domain on her account is testtomorrow.com. But when we go to this link, this calendar link, it actually says salesprocess.com. So that's the difference. We want to make sure that the system is showing the right thing. Does your system still work with this as it's set up right now? Yes, it absolutely does. It's just a matter of what you show to the outside world, basically.
Okay, I get it. So we really should pay attention to this to look the part so that our clients, the people who come to us, see us as complete
Correct.
complete bag of tricks rather than have sales process as our back end.
Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, you had asked about kind of setting some things up, and you can create your subdomains. And I know we're right at the top of the hour. You can create your subdomains here in the system. You can just say, I want to use this. And then when you get that DNS record and add it in, you don't have to go to where you have your domain, where you have it purchased, where it's being controlled, and add a new subdomain and do all that. You can basically come into the system and say, you know what, I want to add this here. It will provide you with the code you need and everything's good. So this takes less than the branded domain takes less than 5 minutes to set up.
Then how do
Mhm.
you get to that screen again?
This one.
Yeah, because I don't see your mouse. It's very hard to see your mouse.
So the screen that I was showing, the calendar links or the
Yes.
branded domain link?
How do I easily add a branded domain as a
Sure.
subdomain to my main domain?
So you're going to go to your business profile.
Yes.
You're going to go to the branded domain area. And so this is loading, so it's taking just a second.
Domain area. Okay.
Okay, of the business profile. In the
Yes.
first section where you have your logo and your name, if for some reason it's not loading very quickly, you would tell it what your branded subdomain is. So I would
Even
name it something so that it connects to the sales process account so that, 6 months down the road, you don't remember what all these DNS records are. Something, you need to make a change to something, you know exactly what they are based on the name that you gave it.
right. So I can call it salesprocess.mymaindomain.com.
I do something smaller, maybe SP or process or sales, whatever you would like to do, but I would do something smaller. You want your domains to not be too terribly long.
Right.
But you can absolutely use sales process. And then .yourdomain.com. And then I don't know why there it goes. So you could do sales, not at yourdomain.com. And then you would click the add domain button. So it's got this domain URL that you just typed in. If you're connected to Cloudflare or one of the other backend systems that connect to the system automatically, you can click continue, and it will automatically add it for you. Or you can add the record manually, and you can see you just need to add one record: CNAME, sales, and then this piece.
Okay.
And there's even,
Automatically add to where?
hmm?
You said it automatically adds. Adds to where? Adds to my
Your
domain.
DNS records. So
Oh,
where you bought your domain, when we were looking at the email information, so it's where you do that. So if you bought your domain, like for the example, one of the big ones in the United States is GoDaddy. If you
yes.
bought your domain from GoDaddy, then and you have everything still sitting with GoDaddy, then it adds to the GoDaddy account.
Without
If
GoDaddy, without me having to tell GoDaddy, without me having to communicate with GoDaddy whatsoever.
you might need to, because GoDaddy might need that little extra piece. It just depends on where you bought your domain, but you would add this record to GoDaddy. So I'm going to stop my share for just a second, and we are 5 minutes past the hour. Let me sorry, I'm signing into someone else's account, so I don't want to show what's happening in that. Let's see, sign in. Sure, we'll show that one. All right, so I am logged into a GoDaddy account. Now, each domain registrar, wherever you buy the domain, is going to be different. Okay. But if you go down here, you can say, okay, so this domain, you want to find the domain that you want, and you would click on the DNS or you would click on manage. So I'm going to click on manage. And we're going to go over here to domain, and I'm going to manage the DNS. Okay. I don't have records here because I actually have this connected to another service. Okay. I have this connected somewhere else, but I can add the DNS records here if it was still connected with GoDaddy, add new records, and then add the very specific record in this spot. But I'm sure that there is documentation provided from sales process on how to walk through this exact process really simply for how they have everything set up on the back end for you. So they can absolutely, if you talk to their support department, send them a message, can help you find articles or can help you with this process.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, we are 6 minutes past. I will be here again at the same time next week. So would like to thank you all for your time today. As we mentioned, Tamara's on vacation. She will be back on her regularly scheduled Tuesday event. I will be back on Thursday. So if you have any questions between now and then, please get with the support department and they will be able to help you out. So I hope you all have a great and successful week, and I will see you in a week's time. Thank you all.